I realized this year that most of my disappointments didn't come from other people or even my mistakes, but it was my intentions. I was completely doing everything for the wrong reasons, whether it's my walk with Christ, my friendships, my relationships, or even my goals. I was only doing things to feel validated and not for my actual benefit. In today's video, I want to talk about how to fix your intentions so you can better your walk with Christ, friendships, relationships, and anything dealing with yourself so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. And if you do enjoy this video, I hope you go down to the link in the description so you can find my playlist with all my other self-help advice videos to help you in any other point in your life. And so now let's go into number one. And so for number one, I wanted to say is to focus on the intentions in your life. And so for the it's three subcategories that I want to put down with self-image, discipline, and identity. And so for your self-image, I was saying, because I feel like a lot of the times when we don't have the right intentions or the right mindset or even just the right process with going into anything, we always get disappointed and then we try to throw that disappointment or that failure back onto ourselves and then we just give up on whatever we're doing. And so for talking about self-image, for example, me, when I was younger, I was super duper skinny and I really didn't like, feeling weak, skinny. So I wanted to work out back then to like just be bigger and stronger. But then, when I started running track in high school, I just wanted to like get faster. But at the same time, even going back then, it was like to focus on the intentions of my self image was my intentions to be looking like someone else, compare my body and my muscles to someone else in the gym, or was my intentions just to be healthier, to be stronger, and to be faster? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, your thought process for both of those things has two different outcomes, two different mindsets, two different disciplines. It's two different, outputs and results. And I feel like not enough people focus on like human psychology when it comes to a lot of things. If you don't have the right mindset or the right process when doing anything, what do you think is going to come out of it? If you have a bad mindset, you do a negative self-talk, you view yourself negatively, what do you think is going to be the output or result? It's going to be negative. It's going to be negativity. It's the same thing. Even if you could bring it into science with the electrons and stuff, positive goes to positive, negative goes to negative. What if it's two negatives? What do you think is going to happen? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, for your self-image, you have to be able to view yourself as you want to view it and not to be someone else. Even when it comes to the next thing, discipline. Same thing. If you want to work out, you want to start that business, you want to start that channel. It's like you want to start that YouTube channel because you want to be rich, have your own first apartment, buy all your own cars and stuff like everybody else you see on the internet, or do you want to start that channel so you can document, so you can teach people, so you can give value to people, so you can learn? You see how you having a different mindset is going to push you in two different places. One's going to be negative, one's going to be positive. Even going to your identity, it might be like one of my other friends was talking about, like he wants to get into fashion, clothes, it's even stuff like that. It's like, do you want to get into fashion so you could look better than the next man, the next woman, or do you want to actually get into fashion so you can express your art style, your creativity, how you see the color wheel, you want to blend different colors together? You know what I mean? You see how you having two different processes, two different mindsets. You see how it can output different things because you trying to dress better than somebody else. You're going to constantly compare. You're going to be constantly chasing that validation, chasing that comparison. Whereas if you're just trying to be creative and show your art style, it's more unique and it's showing more of your own individuality. And so that's what I'll just say for number one. And so for going to number two, it would be the intentions in your goals. And so one thing is going to make it real quick that I didn't say into the last point was just the power of the tongue. Wherever you speak is going to come into your life regardless if it's negative or it's positive. But for going to number two, with your intentions of your goals, it's the same thing. Like say if it's school, it's like, are you going into college getting your degree because your parents forced you and you're trying to be what your parents want to be? Or are you trying to get your own higher education so you could be a more productive woman or man in society? You see how when you have two different thought processes, once again, two different outputs, two different results. Even when going into your career, same thing with me. I just started, I know I'm a little late, I started doing like the internships and applying and stuff, but it was like I wanted to fix my resume, apply to internships so it could start reflecting, as a person on me, start reflecting me as a person, start reflecting my skills, my grades, the exams that I passed, the assignments, the projects that I did in school. That is a reflection on me. I don't want to, try to be like that. I feel like before when I was going to like the little Nesby meetings and clubs, it was like, oh, I'm trying to be like everybody else being professional, everybody else on their little like corporate goals. I'm trying to be like them. And I feel like when you constantly compare yourself to other people because you don't have the right intentions in your head, I feel like that's when fear starts to invoke, because same thing like I said in the last point, you're going to constantly be chasing that validation, constantly chasing that comparison. And so you're always going to feel like you're never enough and that you can never be like them because you're constantly chasing instead of just having that own uniqueness and individuality into yourself. And even when it goes to like social media, like I was saying, your goals, like I want to reach 1,000 subs for myself. I don't want to reach 1,000 subs because of somebody else. You know what I mean? I don't want to blow up on YouTube to be better than the next person. You know what I mean? Because once again, you're constantly chasing that validation. Then I feel like that's when it starts giving comparison, envy, jealousy, because it's like now you're seeing people as like, like competition and stuff. Instead, if you were just focusing on that own individuality and uniqueness on your own self, you'd be working on your own goals and getting better on yourself. Even going back to fitness, it's like, what was my real reason for going to the gym? You know what I mean? Like I said, was it trying to be like someone else, or was it trying to just get stronger and stuff? And also, a part that I had put on here was that bad intentions result in burnout, because like I said, you're always going to be chasing that validation. You're always going to be chasing that perfection, because you could be doing good at what you're at, but because you're always chasing, and chasing, that's going to burn you out. At some point, for example, with YouTube, it's like because you might not have that views as somebody else, you might not have that many followers, that many subscribers as someone else. That's gonna kill your goals. That's what's gonna cause burnout, because then you're gonna be like, well, I'm not making as much money as this person. I'm not gonna do it. I don't got this many followers and this many subscribers as this person. I'm gonna stop. So you know what I mean? It's like once you have that negative mindset, it's one gonna invoke fear, and two, it's just gonna make you stop doing whatever you're doing. And it's like, dang, like that was one of your goals, but because you had a bad intention, you just stopped doing it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want to say for number 2. And I'm looking at my notes now. I know the first 2 was kind of the same. That was my bad. But for going on to 3, this is a different one. It is your intentions, relationships, and friendships. And I feel like I can't speak too much on relationships because I haven't been into like a for real one. But I would say I feel like in this generation, a lot of people want to give up on like relationships and love. I feel like it be them intentions, because one of my friends, she was talking about like how people are just so lustful and they just be like talking about sex and all this stuff on her close friends. And I feel like people will get relationships and stuff misconstrued, because I feel like even if it's just a lot of people in this generation might go into relationships with sex, lust, and like not marriage and stuff, I still feel like how I said on my other points, that can output negativity and negative results. Because at the end of the day, if you date someone and you're just dating a date, you don't have your good intentions, then y'all are just wasting each other's time. You know what I mean? Like if you go into a relationship thinking, okay, I want a family, I want to marry this person, like you see how you'll get better results. Even if y'all broke up, it will still be like y'all were bettering each other and becoming, more of a man or more of a woman, because y'all are in a productive and healthy relationship. Even though I know, yes, our relationships, you're not going to be married, and yes, every relationship is not going to be as easy as you think, I still feel like your intentions is what helps to make it easier. Because even like speaking, I feel like as a woman, you might be expecting your man to do something, but at the same time, it's like when you got into a relationship, what were your intentions? Did you want that to be your husband? You can't. It's like, how can you expect someone to be your husband if you got into a relationship that wasn't your intentions and y'all were just there messing around, playing around? You know what I mean? Because it's like, wait a second, was y'all playing around, messing around? Now y'all trying to be husband and wife? Y'all got to choose either way. You either gonna be serious or unserious. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be the same thing with guys to women. Like you can't say, yeah, I want that girl to be my wife, but then it's like y'all whole relationship, y'all weren't doing stuff to be husband and wife. Y'all was just playing around. So like I said, which one's gonna be? Y'all gonna be serious or unserious? And so even when it comes to friendships, like one of my friends had taught me this with the whole validation thing. Like there's just some things that I was just like learning about myself these past couple of weeks, and I noticed that I was like just telling everybody the same thing, running in circles. And then one of my friends at school kind of realized like I was telling people to like get that validation and that answer, instead of like one, trusting my own self, but also it was like I was just telling them to tell them, you know what I mean? And then it's like we're just like running in circles, we're not learning things. So that's what I want to say for like intentions with friendships, because it's like when I go to someone and I need something, or I need to be able to talk, or lean a shoulder on someone, what are those intentions? It's like, is that intentions for them to actually help me so they can give me advice that I can do better, I can change my ways, or am I just telling them just for basic validation? You know what I mean? You could be intentional with your friendships. Even I know some people's like they want Christian friends, or that's like me. Like none of the homeboys I got is lazy. Like, yeah, somebody might smoke a little weed or something, but it still gives they're getting their degree, they're being productive. Like I don't ain't nobody around me just ain't doing nothing, wasting time. No, because what they say, like anybody in your circle can mess you up. Everybody around me either entrepreneurship, they doing YouTube internships, degree, college. Like ain't nobody around me being that productive, because you're not going to make me lazy, and you're not going to mess up my character, my discipline, and my motivation, what I got going on, because you want to be negative. You know what I mean? It's like bad company corrupts everybody else. And so I'm like, but that's the thing. It's like I'm very intentional when it comes to my friendships. Literally everybody around me is productive in something, with cries, YouTube, college. It's giving something. It's not just being lazy out in the streets. Like barely my friends go to the club, be smoking and drinking. They might do a little dabble, but it still gave. We're all productive and trying to better ourselves. And so but yeah, and then the last thing, like I said, being intentional when trusting people, being intentional with your communication, being intentional with your boundaries. I learned that too, especially with having roommates in college and stuff. Like you have to be intentional with a lot of stuff with your friends, how they speak to you, with your roommates, with boundaries, even relationships. I feel like that'd be another thing. People be breaking up, but it's like, y'all didn't have that boundary. Was y'all intentional? Like I said, that y'all went to a relationship playing, and then when stuff be happening, y'all be mad. But it's like, were y'all unserious when y'all started dating? That's another topic. So, but yeah, that's what I want to say for number 3. And this one is probably going to be the easiest out of all of them. But for number 4, I want to say being intentional with God. And this was something I learned a long, long time ago. It was really recent. It was probably like a year or two. But like I saw on TikTok, and they were saying to be more intentional with prayer. And I didn't realize that, like, I think when I was younger, and like, your grandparents or like your parents just teach you like how to pray and all that stuff. Like I would just say like the Lord's Prayer, where it's like, I'll pop it up on the screen, but it's the same little verse. Like I used to just say that all the time, and that was it. And it's like, I wouldn't say that it's wrong, but I feel like I just feel like being intentional with your walk with Christ, what you're praying about, what even you might be sinning over, like just being very intentional with everything. I feel like I said, having good intentions with God, I feel like will give you good stuff. If you're having bad intentions with it, you'll get bad stuff. Because now, and even someone said that too on TikTok, they're like, don't just pray and be like, God, give me this car, give me this house. Like I more try to pray over now, like my heart posture, or like say if something bothered me, like I would say, God, like help, assist me through. You still got to be able to do it yourself, but I would still ask for like that spiritualness to help me. And then like mentally and physically, I help my own self kind of, because I feel like a lot of times, like I said, people will be like praying wrong. All this makes sense. Like I know if you're not Christian, you might not get it, but it's like I feel like some people will be praying wrong. Like I feel like some people even will be praying for like revenge. Like, oh, I hope this person gets this. Like all of those things, I feel like that's not the right way to necessarily talk to God. Like you have to be very intentional, even with your faith. Like what I would say for me, when I would lose faith on certain things, it goes back to my intentions. I was going into things with bad intentions, and then when I'd be disappointed, I'd be like, yep, that's why I should never did this. I should never pray for that. You know what I mean? It's just like negativity feeds off of negativity. Misery feeds off of misery. So even with your faith, like what are you being faithful over? What are you praying over? Even I feel like when it comes to God and like your purpose, I feel like you have to be intentional with that. For me, I feel like there was literally, as soon as I started running track, I just kept thinking about YouTube, talking to YouTube. Literally all of my friends I would be saying, and I'd be like, yeah, I wonder how to be to do YouTube. How would I start a channel? And literally all of my friends, that's why my shit started earlier. All my friends around me were like, well, why don't you just try it? Why don't you just do it? Like literally one of my old friends, I kid you not, it was the summer, probably sophomore year. He would text me every so often, like, okay, so when you gonna make that YouTube channel, when you gonna blow up? So it's like little things like that. I just feel like I got so many signs, like this has to be my purpose. Then people be coming up at literally someone came up to my job one time and was like, well, I've been seeing your videos, keep going. So I just feel like it's too many signs, you know what I mean? Like people be coming up to me at school being like, well, I love your videos, keep going, motivate me. Even sometimes I even shouted those people out in the vlog. So you know what I mean? I just feel like it's too many signs for me not to be doing it. But it's like, for example, it's like I was intentionally praying, hopefully this YouTube does well. And then I feel like God is showing me those signs. Once again, being intentional into your purpose, because it's like I'm getting those things back, but it's like I prayed for it. You know what I mean? Even going down to what your sins and your convictions are, you can even see your intentions in that, because it's like, I would say for me, I don't know what it was, but like I would stop cussing for like so long, and then I just start cussing again. Yeah, I just started accidentally like slipping stuff, like not necessarily to people, but I'll just be thinking in my head or talk to myself, and I'm like, I didn't mean to cuss. And so, but just simple things like that, like being intentional with what I'm saying, how I'm speaking to people, the words are coming out my mouth. Like, I don't want to say like be coming off ghetto, but you know how they be, like you be cussing and saying a lot of derogatory terms. They be thinking you ain't educated. So it's like, no, I want to sound like I'm educated and like I'm getting a degree at this good school. You know what I mean? So just little things like that, like being intentional. I don't want to come off as that way, because like I said, they be quick to call us derogatory and stereotype us. So it's like, I want to be better than the stereotype. But once again, that's my intention. I'm trying to have a good intention of how I'm speaking, my character. So just little things like that. And then even when it comes to like your obedience, once again, like what is God putting on your heart for you to follow, but how are you following it? You know what I mean? And that goes down to what you're thinking, your process, how you're going about things. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say for number 4. And yeah, it might have been a little short one, but that was pretty much all I had for this video. I would say just to go over it quickly, focus on your intentions with yourself, your intentions with your goals, your intentions with your relationships and friendships, and your intentions with God. And I know, like I said, it might have been really short, but it's just something I really learned recently, just a lot with talking with my friends, with going through things and with learning things. It was just like my intentions of going into stuff just wasn't the right intentions. Like I feel like for YouTube, I used to be so jealous of other people, so envious comparing to other people, but it was like that's what it was. It wasn't my intentions to make that content, to be creative, to build a community. My intentions wasn't that. It was to make money. It was to be better than this person. It was to have more subscribers than that person. You know what I mean? But I feel like now my intentions, like I said, is to build that community, is to show that art form, is to be creative, is to capture those memories. It's for me to be able to look back at my life and be like, okay, I was in this period of my life. You know what I mean? To be able to see that growth and to be able to capture that growth. And you could do that in a lot of things, even with when it comes to God, your walk with God. Like for me, I started journaling, and I used to think like, oh, this is a waste of time, but then I kind of realized it's kind of like how I do the YouTube videos, but it's just on paper. Like at some point, months or years, I'll look back and be like, wow, like this is what I was going on in my life. But you see, it's like I'm intentionally writing those things down so I could look back at it and to be able to show my growth. Same thing through these YouTube videos. It's like when I always say like, thank you for 100, 200 subs. It's like now I could be able to look back and be like, wow, like from when I just hit 100 and now I'm at 200, like just being intentional with those little things. Even the video, for example, like you probably saw the intro had the most edits than the rest of the video. That was intentional. It was to keep your attention. It was to be intentional for you to carry out for the rest of the video. It was intentional to grab your attention span and for you to watch it. Like I say, being intentional with a lot of things in your background and your thought process with God, yourself, your goals, your friendships, your relationships, and even yourself is going to help you carry out and achieve a lot more goals than you think. Because if you go into something with negativity and the wrong mindset, what do you think the output and the product is going to be? So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to continue to post for the year's over. I'm trying to, everybody doing vlogging, so I know y'all watching YouTube now, so I'm trying to post my little stuff, but continue to show love. I know the last vlog is doing good, so make sure y'all do that. Make sure y'all subscribe, and y'all see a little animation. We got to get to 1,000, y'all, but y'all got to help me. I'm trying to do my thing, learn about these analytics, this stuff. I'm trying to learn, but y'all gotta help me too by communicating, liking, interacting, sharing. Y'all gotta help me too now. So yeah, that was all I want to say for this video. Like I said, I hope you guys take so much value from these videos. Go down the playlist, find wherever you need, and even let me know down in the comments what I need to talk about, and I'll make a video about that too. We gotta help each other now. So yeah, continue to like, comment, subscribe. Road to 700 subs, almost at 800. Road to 700 subs, and I can't wait to see y'all in the next video.